Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. This is going to be another review of the She-Hulk series. And in this one, I'm going to ask the question, was I wrong in my previous video where I got destroyed by, by viewers? I lost 10 subscribers just because of my review. And I thought that was kind of harsh that people unsubscribe. So just because I, put my opinion out there. And so don't unsubscribe. Watch the full video because I'm going to really get into the She-Hulk episode 2 review. And I brought a book that sort of encapsulates what I felt sort of episode 2 really embodied. And I'm going to show it to you. This is a great She-Hulk book. This is a great book. If you can find this book, it is just a wonderful book. This is She-Hulk number 40. It's a jump rope one. It is just such a funny comic. Really great read. Just silly in every way. But why does this book symbolize, for me, the She-Hulk episode 2? Well, in episode 1, She-Hulk comes across as a know-it-all. As somebody that's, I'm perfect, I'm wonderful, I'm really the best ever. Okay? And, and when I did my original review, I was annoyed by that. I actually didn't like the character because she kind of trashed on men and had this kind of like, women are great, women are awesome, I'm the best kind of attitude. And it was very, and she also like really was kind of trashing the original Hulk. And I felt like it was just a very weak episode. However, episode 2 was very different than that. And the way episode 1 ended was there was a scene in the court where basically Titania kind of wrecks the court, and She-Hulk goes full She-Hulk and stops Titania from basically murdering the jury. And so episode 2 starts at that point. Okay, so what are the consequences of those kind of actions? Like She-Hulk basically fighting and revealing herself as She-Hulk. And normally in these kind of shows, there's not many consequences. But in this one, they really, really did a great job of bringing humility to the character. And that's why I recommended that book. Because in it, she is humbled. She knows that she's a sexual object in a way, and she's humbled. She's like, she's taken down a notch. And in episode 2, she's taken down a notch. What happens, the repercussions of episode 1 is that she is now, a lawyer without a job because nobody wants to deal with somebody that could potentially go all hulky, and what ramifications that would have in a courtroom. So nobody wants to hire her. She's lost her job. She's a loser. She is, she feels like a loser, and she's been really taken down that notch, or a few notches down. And she isn't the sort of cocky person that she was in the first episode. And when she gets a job in the second episode, she has to do it with a bunch of caveats. She's desperate for a job. She basically just accepts anything. And she doesn't even know what the job is, but she's just willing to accept it because she's so desperate. She has been broken in a way. And that is a great place to have a character. I know it sounds weird, but it's a great place to have a character because it gives them a potential to change, to really grow as a character. And we, as an audience, like characters that have room to grow. It gives them a place to go with the story. And that's what we saw. So what happens is she gets a new job, and there's a bunch of caveats, as I was saying. She has to be in the She-Hulk form, which is against really where she wants to go. She doesn't really want to be, she wants to be taken seriously as a lawyer, as a woman lawyer. But no, she's got to be this She-Hulk. And, they kind of make fun of her as She-Hulk instead of just some other name. She's like a derivative. And I think that's interesting that they play that up. Um, and so she's kind of being like put in her place a little bit, and it's a really great thing to see. I kind of liken it to Tony Stark. In the first When we first meet Tony Stark, he's this playboy. He's like he's a billionaire. He's blowing up things. He's like an arms dealer. And he is taken down a whole bunch of notches because, first of all, it's his weapons that take him out. It's, the guys that basically kidnap him, they used his weapons against him. He's taken down a notch again when, things don't go his way. His heart is literally ripped out of him. It's like things go bad for this guy. So it's kind of cool that you had that kind of arc for Tony, where he went from this playboy kind of silly guy to really somebody that you could take very seriously and, was a very loved character. Well, She-Hulk has that same kind of thing. Like, I wish that they had made episode 1 and 2 together, like as one episode, because I think we would have needed that to see that transition. Because what happens is when you see it just by itself, you think, oh, this person's a total jerk. And you don't like them. And it's really important to see that there is that change. I hope that they continue this whole thing with her changing and becoming a better person, one that is a little bit more respectful to the other characters like the Hulk, and one that is more respectful in terms of the other characters. So one thing that happens is in episode 2, they bring back the Abomination, and it really is a kind of a cool thing because the Abomination literally tried to kill her cousin, the Hulk. And, she doesn't want to represent him because it is a conflict of interest. It is, you don't represent somebody that is somebody that you have a grudge against. And again, it's humility that is required in order to take on that kind of case. One of the things that people don't understand in these days, nowadays, is when people think about lawyers, they don't understand that a lawyer's duty is to the law. And that means that a lawyer has to represent even people that they believe are guilty. And they have to represent them in such a way that their goal is to make sure that they get freed, even if they believe that person should be in jail. The law comes first. They have to provide as much of a defense as possible, regardless of their own feelings in the case. And that's something that I think we are really lacking in a society nowadays. But that was something that I thought was really brilliantly brought back into the She-Hulk series, where that respect for the law and for the idea that everybody deserves a defense. And I think, that's kind of cool. So my impression of the first episode, very weak. I would have given it like a 6 out of 10. Episode 2, I'd give like a 7 or 8 out of 10. Now, that doesn't sound like a huge improvement, even though overall I thought it was a much better episode. The reason I didn't give it higher was it kind of, I still expect my superhero stories to have a bit more action. And that is kind of why episode 2 is a little bit lacking on the action side. But at least the story is better. So I give it high marks on the story, low marks on the action. So that's really why I give it a little lower grade. But overall, I was very, very pleased with episode 2. So regardless of what my opinion is, please subscribe to the channel. I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers. I'm doing a big contest. I will put the link in the description so you can check out the contest. You can win a really cool comic. just all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and hit the like button on the video that I post in the description, and comment which book you would want to get of the 3 that I'm going to give. So that's it, and you can win a pretty big book. So check that out. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Hope people resubscribe to my channel because I was very sad when people left the channel just because of my opinion. Like, I say crazy things. That's fine. You know, people say crazy things. Whether you agree with me or not, doesn't mean that we can't discuss it. We don't have, I can be friends with somebody that I disagree with on a topic. I might not agree with, there's nobody in the world that I agree with 100% of the time. So, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I can take it. Okay, you can put it in the comments below. So what did you think of episode 2 for the She-Hulk series? And that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.